James, can I start by asking you just how tough a decision that was for the club to let Alex go?
Yeah, really tough. I think I don't find anybody that's got a bad word to say about the manager as well. He was highly respected and, as I say, a great guy and a great coach as well. So it's tough when somebody loses their job, but ultimately it was the board decision that they felt they needed to make a change. So we wish him well, and I'm sure it won't be long before he's back involved in football again.
What do you think was the driving factor behind the decision?
Yeah, I think the board will just monitor things as we go. There's obviously as a results-driven business, and I suppose maybe the inconsistency in results as well. In a good position on Saturday, and ultimately you lose 3 goals as well, and that's not necessarily a manager's decision that happens in the way the game pans out, but ultimately it's the buck stops at a manager's door, whoever that may be, as well. So they just felt that it was potentially time just to make a change.
I think Billy had said in the statement that it was important that the club preserves their Premiership status. Did you feel that was potentially under threat?
I think when you look at the way the league table is at the minute, there's lots of teams in the mix. I say that's, and we're one of them just now. You're looking for that consistency. So Saturday might have painted a better picture had we won and opened up a gap between ourselves and the teams below, but that wasn't the case. So there's plenty of games left to play, and that is the main focus on the club. And that's not to say that we're bottom of the table, but they just felt that the way the results and potentially performances had been, that they needed to make a change.
I think there's been quite a bit of unrest amongst some sections of supporters. Does that come into a decision like this as well?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, I've seen bits and pieces, and you're disappointed when you see that. I get that there is frustration there, and the fans not being in a stadium can add to that frustration, and it can boil over into social media as well. And I kind of, in a sad way, that can impact on people that have got families and stuff as well, and that's the important side of that for me, that everybody's human. I've seen how hard the manager worked when he was here. Now sometimes you don't always get back what you put in, but I think we've got to be conscious of how we react on social media, and probably the way that we behave, and whether it's banners or abuse as well. And we've seen racist abuse to the manager in the past, and these things are really unacceptable in my book, and it's important that I suppose we stick together as a club, whether that's players getting abused, staff. I say it's not nice. I get people are frustrated, and they're maybe finding different ways to vent that frustration, but I would like to think that we're a good club, we're a good set of fans, and we probably learn from this experience as well.
How quickly are the club hoping to fill that role?
Yeah, so obviously it's been a whirlwind since Saturday. We've got a transfer window closing today. We've got a game Tuesday, so that's kind of been the main focus for the club. We've received CVs basically straight away since the news is out, and that's the ruthless part of football as well. So I think we'll meet as a board and myself probably later in the week, and kind of settle where we're going to go moving forward, and kind of whittle the CVs down to serious candidates.
James, who'll be in charge, and what's the makeup of the coaching staff at the moment for the Celtic game?
Yeah, so the board had asked if myself, Andy and Gary Dicker could just take the team for Tuesday and for the foreseeable future at the minute. So Andy and Gary have kind of taken training this morning. We've prepared for the game. We've picked a team that we think can win the game tomorrow night as well. So it's a team effort. Andy's an experienced coach. Gary's got obviously a love for the club. He's our captain. He's got a passion for beginning his coaching journey, and I've obviously done roles within the manager or assistant manager as well. So just all hands to the pump at the minute, and making sure that we get a reaction from the players, because that's what they need after obviously Saturday's disappointment.
What's the process for appointing a new manager, and obviously touched on a bit of the timescale as well?
Yeah, timescale, we're looking to get that done as soon as possible, but that needs to be the right person as well, and you need to go through a proper process. As a club, we've kind of been working in the background previously anyway, and how we kind of see the club moving forward, and that was whether Alex was here as manager or not, and try to obviously close the gap between our academy and our first team to get more players through. So that's a longer term strategy for the club, but ultimately we want to make sure that we stay in this league as well. So whether that impacts on our appointment is something that we'll discuss at boardroom level.
Will you be part of the selection process?
Yeah, so I'm kind of probably receiving quite a lot of the CVs just now, and my role is kind of head of football operations through agents and managers getting in touch directly. So I'll be kind of obviously advising the board and giving my kind of feedback as well. But I suppose ultimately it'll be a board decision where to go with that.
Does that suggest that you're not putting yourself forward for the job, James, or are you?
No, I've come in to do a role here as head of football operations. It's something I've kind of stepped away from that. This is probably the first time I've had the coaching gear on in a while as well. So it's something that I'll kind of hopefully help the board appoint the right person for the next step.
Do you think the club's looking for a seasoned, experienced manager, or are they looking for a younger coach coming in?
That hasn't been decided yet. I think that I suppose one of the prerequisites will be that they've got an understanding of the Scottish League or the British game certainly as well, because there's not many games left, so it's important that they kind of they know what they're coming into as well. Don't have any kind of bedding in period of time like you normally would maybe in a summer. So it's important that we've got somebody that we know that can come in and do the job straight away.
And Gary Dicker into the coaching setup at the moment. Would he be in line for an application?
I think that's a question for Gary. I think he'll feel that he's still got some years left in him playing. As I say, he's been here a while. He's a well-respected member of the playing staff. He's not got much experience in coaching, but he's vocal and he's a leader and he's our captain. So that was kind of the reason for getting him involved as well, because it's important that we're getting everybody's buy-in from players and staff as well, because I say sometimes it can be a sad place when somebody that's well liked and respected leaves a job, but it's a quick turnaround to the next match, and that needs to be our main focus.
And obviously, transfer deadline day. Do you have the facility to sign anyone today? Yeah,
so we're looking to add one or two players anyway, obviously before the manager had left, so that kind of process has continued. Now it's not ideal when you've not got a manager, and it can make it a bit more of a challenge, but we can, as I say, identify the positions and certain players that we would like to try and get done. So it's important in my role that we're still continuing that, and we've got a strong group once this window closes.
Because the manager, Alex Dyer, gave the impression about 10 days ago that when he got George Oakley and that he had only one player to get in. So you're suggesting now that there's more opportunity today?
Maybe one more than one, potentially. I think that's kind of that was always a conversation that we're having, if we could get the one in, because it's budget dependent as well. So depending what you can get a certain player in for might allow you to bring another one in. Now when we get to this stage of the window, that the clubs are looking to loan out some of their best young players as well, and that might be beneficial for them and beneficial for us from a financial point of view as well. So it's ever changing, but we are hopeful to try and get at least one in today.
James, what's the aim of the new manager, whoever it will be? What is their aim for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think it's to win games, to kind of make sure we stay in this league as well. There's lots of teams kind of from probably fifth down, I would imagine, that are in the mix. There's teams still looking up, thinking we can get in the top six, but certainly the teams in the bottom six will feel that they're in the mix for the bottom two positions, and where we're at just now, we're probably in the mix for that as well. So it's important that we come in and we just make sure that we're safe, and then we look to kind of build from there on in.
You're in charge of the game tomorrow night. How do you expect it to go? Well, what do you make of Celtic, and is it a good time to play them? They've only won one game so far this year.
Yeah, obviously the Celtic are going through a little bit of a tough period just now. I think when you look at the players that they've got, though, it's still a very strong squad and a very strong group of players that we'll be coming up against. But obviously we've come off the back of a disappointing result ourselves on Saturday, so we're focused on us, but we know there is an opportunity there if we play to our maximum, because we want to make Killie and Rugby Park not a nice place to come for any team. So as I say, once we can rally the troops and hopefully get a positive reaction on Tuesday night.
James, I don't know if you've had the chance to talk to him, but how are the players? Because it was no secret that Alex was very popular amongst the squad.
Yeah, I spoke to them yesterday and said that everybody will feel a bit of responsibility, and I'm sure that they will. It might be a fresh start for some players that maybe didn't feature that much under the manager, but it's a close-knit group, and the manager's got the respect of everybody. It is a tough one to see him lose his job, but as I say, that focus quickly shifts to Tuesday night as well, because you've got a game coming round and you can't be feeling sorry for ourselves or anything else. It's important now that we go and show that we are a good bunch of players and can get a win on Tuesday night, hopefully.
Is that the key? I mean, I'm sure most footballers have been in this situation before, a change of management. It happens a lot these days as well. So is it always just about trying to focus on the next game and just putting everything else to the back of their minds?
Because whoever comes in, there'll be a new manager watching as well, so it's an impression. So it's a good time to make a good impression as well for whoever may be coming in next. But the professional players, they get paid, and they need to be professional in terms of their approach to the next match. And it's a tough one against Celtic, but it's one that we're obviously looking forward to as well.
Who selects the team? Is it you, James, for tomorrow?
No, but we kind of obviously had a discussion this morning, so everybody kind of had their input as well. So it was a team effort, and there wasn't any real disagreements in that as well, and what we think is the kind of the best team to pick for the Celtic match.
Has Gary Dicker picked himself?
That'll be team news tomorrow. Gary's obviously a big player for us as well. He's the captain, so and he's working his way back from fitness, so we'll see how he's feeling, certainly. But as I say, he's a big player for us.
Is he fit and ready to participate again, fully fit?
Yeah, well, he's back. He's back and been training as well, so he is in the mix. Whether he's up to full speed and ready to go, that will be a call that we'll make probably later on today.
2 wins in 11 for yourselves recently. 13 games to go. That form has to change to secure your Premiership status, doesn't it? Yeah,
but like I said, there's kind of a lot of teams in the mix down the bottom, and it is finding that consistency, and that's we've seen Livingston go on another hell of a run as well, and find that consistent form, and they've shot right at the table. So I think if we can kind of look after ourselves and think, right, we've got a good group of players, and just kind of refocus a little bit, and say now there's an opportunity for some players that maybe haven't featured much, they might look at that and think, right, it's time to roll up my sleeves and show what I'm all about, and hopefully we get that reaction.
Facing Celtic, of course, when you consider the first game of the season against them at Rugby Park was probably one of the best performances of Kilmarnock this term. Yeah. Does that give you heart?
It does, because obviously we're playing against a similar team as well, and that's the thing, you've got to make sure you're up for every game. Sometimes the bigger games take care of themselves, but as it's a focus for us now is winning the game on Tuesday. We take confidence from previous results, and our performance is certainly against them as well. But we know it's going to be tough, but it's the one we're looking forward to.
Can I ask you just one more question on Alex Dyer? When the departure of a manager happens so quickly after a game, within a couple of hours, was there an ultimatum given to him that before the game that should they lose, then that was time up for him? No. I think you just have a conversation and you get a feel. I think you've maybe seen from Alex's chats after the game as well. He was hurting. He knew it was a big game. Knew where that could take them as well, and obviously he was conscious of the results that we'd been on. So I say we had a conversation, myself, him, and the board as well, and then it was kind of mutually agreed that a change was going to take place. So, and we wish him well, because he's a top guy. Any sort of team news, James, like players back fit or any injuries? Or? No, I think we'll probably be much the same as we were. So hopefully if we can get maybe one or two over the line today, then you could potentially be added to the squad. But we'll just monitor that throughout the day.